My name is Teju-Rapid Prototype. I'm with the Unreasonable Institute, and that is a mentorship and training program for entrepreneurs tackling social and environmental problems. It's an accelerator. It's kind of like a Techstars for entrepreneurs who are addressing poverty, climate change, getting people access to energy, those sorts of things. My day-to-day, so I joined the team of Wink, which is basically an organization that's providing training and mentorship to small-scale women entrepreneurs in Boulder. We got together basically to address the question of how Micah, the entrepreneur who leads Wink, is going to build a business model around what she's doing and really kind of formalize it. She's in a very, very early stage right now. She's had a really straightforward pilot. She's had a couple of women go through her program, but it's not yet financially viable, and she needs to get to a point where it is so she can quit her full-time job and dedicate herself to this work. So that was our challenge today.
Wonderful. And how did it go?
It was good. I would say that, so I have a little bit of a biased perspective because I went through another scrimmage at the Unreasonable Institute this summer that we did with Rework. So I certainly think that Michael learned a lot. And so she, there's three big things that she learned. Number one is she learned specific services and the frequency and duration of the services that she needs to offer to entrepreneurs. So at first she didn't quite know. She wanted to run a year-long program. What she basically learned is that she needs to run maybe a 3-month program or a 2-week program that's either that's really tailored towards women entrepreneurs who might have children, for example, in the evenings, that kind of thing, meeting maybe every week or so during that 3-month period. So she learned that, which was a big takeaway for her. She also learned the services that she needs to offer. Mentorship was a really big thing. People really were interested in one-on-one support. They were really interested in small groups. A lot of the other services that she was planning on offering, conference calls, some of these other ways of delivering guidance to these entrepreneurs weren't as appealing. So she was able to basically hone in and narrow focus on what she's going to provide and offer. She also learned what's compelling in terms of helping someone get a taste of this experience in advance as a marketing strategy. Because the big challenge for people before going through this program is there's a lot of information asymmetry. Going through a 3-month program, that's a big cost, maybe not financially, but in terms of time. And so she had to help people understand pretty quickly how this will be valuable to them. So she designed an evening program where a lot of women entrepreneurs would come together, get the chance to meet each other and experience the community aspect of being together, and also float around and visit with different expert mentors who have skills in things like accounting or web design or revenue generation or raising investment or those kinds of things, as well as go through a few workshops in that evening session alone and find out what this experience is like and be able to evaluate for themselves that whether or not it's going to be valuable for their business. So Micah took away, I think, some really great learnings from it. I think that there was a lot about the process in our team specifically that could have improved. In the first half of the scrimmage today, we spent most of the time in discussion, which wasn't very productive. There was a lot of people contributing and had great ideas, but we weren't actually building or getting anywhere in particular. So, we had the break, we had the kick in the pants from the Rework team, which was great, and after that, we had this huge focus on, okay, you have this idea, great, let's go test it, and that proved to be a lot more productive and offer a lot more learning than the morning session. So, I think, what I've learned from this is it's incredibly important to lay the framework for how this session is going to go from the very beginning, and that's the entrepreneur's job to really strongly facilitate at the very beginning. These are the values with which we're going to operate today. These are the roles that all of you have. You're going to keep time. We're going to build every 20 minutes. We're going to institute these structures so that we can make the most of this time. So, but I would say it was highly successful from a learning standpoint, both on her business and on the process.
Great. Tell us about this fellow by the name of Tom Chi and his Rapid Prototype.
Sure. So Tom Chi is formerly the head of user experience at Google Special Projects, and he is remarkable in the skill of rapid prototyping. And basically, the question for him is, how can we maximize our learning with as little investment of energy and time as possible? What he's saying is, companies are in this cloud of uncertainty when they start out. And typically what happens is they simply drive a stake into the ground and invest 18 months, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to that stake, and then realize that maybe what they did didn't actually work, and they've wasted a lot of time and energy in getting there. What he's saying is, well, why don't we learn much more quickly by replicating what that success looks like with a fraction of the resources and time. And so, for example, he talked today about how when he arrived at Google, his job was to build an experience similar to what Tom Cruise experienced in the movie Minority Report, where he was able to manipulate basically a computer in the air with his hands. He was moving files here and here, pulling up a spreadsheet, that kind of thing, in the air. And so instead of building a very technologically sophisticated system that involved an interactive user interface that responded to touch and all these other things, all he did was basically put up a projector with a PowerPoint slideshow on it with images, and had these hair bands that people could put their hands into that was tied to a fishing line over a pulley to two chopsticks. And when you pulled your right hand, it advanced the slide because it clicked a mouse clicker, basically, that advanced the slide. Or if you pulled your left hand, it would go back a slide, right? And so people were able to come up and have the experience to go next image, previous image, with their hands in the air. And it took them 45 minutes to build chopsticks, fishing wire, a simple projector, things that he already had around the office. It cost him maybe $1. And what he learned very quickly was, for example, that people started using this. While he was really excited and making these big gestures, people use the minimum effort required to advance or retreat the slides. And because the way the device was set up, people had to have their hands up like this. After a while, their arms started to get incredibly tired. Their shoulders started to hurt. And you realize if you had your hands over your heart, it's very hard to continue gesticulating. And so he brought the next iteration down so people could move below their heart. And so these are things that a company could have invested 18 months and thousands of dollars building in order to learn. He learned it in 45 minutes with $1 that it cost him to buy these chopsticks, right? So that's the whole concept of rapid prototyping. That's what Tom taught us today.
Fantastic. And what would you say to someone if you were to suggest the Rework scrimmage?
I would say that the Rework scrimmage is introducing a completely new way of working, which is not around driving stakes into the ground, but it's actually a very intelligent, very scientific approach to navigating uncertainty and rapidly attempting different possibilities to get to the solution that is actually most going to work. There's a lot of ego, I think, involved in making an assessment about, here's the problem, here's the solution, I'm going to fix it, I know that this is the right solution. But rapid prototyping takes your reasoning out of it, your intuition out of it, and actually is incredibly empirical. So it actually forces you to set aside your assumptions and try things as quickly as possible. And what is incredible about it is how quickly you can advance and how quickly you can move and get things done. I think it offers a new framework for people also to work together in teams and to see the connection between the work that they're doing and a larger goal. Everyone on that team is incredibly pivotal to the success of a rapid prototyping venture. So it's hugely valuable in that way. So I'd say from a professional development standpoint, from dramatically increasing the likelihood of success and the speed with which you achieve that success and the cost efficiency with which you achieve that success, the Rework scrimmage offers you a completely paradigm-shifting way of learning how to go about doing that. So I think I would highly recommend the scrimmage to anybody. In fact, I think in 10 years, this will be the way that companies work. This will be what people are expected to know. So people better get to these as soon as they can to build that competitive edge.
Beautiful, very nice. Tell us who you are, what you do, and who you're with, and what you do. One more time.
One more time. My name is Teju-Rapid Prototype. I'm from the Unreasonable Institute, which is a mentorship and training program for entrepreneurs tackling social and environmental problems.
Perfect. Nice.